Hello colleagues, this is my short video, just one of our tips and tricks on how to do things. I'm going to show you a very quick way of updating records in bulk on SIMRes, of course. You can see that we are on our main screen, but I just want to show you what you do first before you go and update. Obviously, you would have worked on your document and maybe marked your students that you want to update from submitted status to, for example, unsuccessful. So that's what I'm going to be showing you now. So you would go and download your report, I'm assuming, and work, of course, on your report to get what you need. So the one that I suggest you use is All Perez report. And I'm hoping that this report is good to go. It's the same as the pivot grid, because at some point we did pick up that these are not the same. But anyway, obviously you'll be working on your master list, so that's what matters. All right, I'm not going to download All Perez report for all residences, so I'm gonna select a residence here. I'm gonna use that very first one, not Alba Hotel, of course. I'm going to use the first one, which is Banato, as an example. We download that report, and once you've downloaded your report, you will sit at the bottom of the screen on the left-hand side here, where I'm moving my mouse, and you would obviously open your document, and your document, let's go. Okay, your document will look something like this. I hope this is clear, right? Will look something like this. And you obviously want to make sure that you only have the columns that you need for this particular report, right? Remove that top part there, whatever is on top there. You must be left with only the headings and the data that you need. So what you do first is you, let's say you downloaded everything, you filter, and you choose the res that your residence, which is the res that you're going to be working with. In this case, I've downloaded just Banato, and we know that we're going to be working with only returning students. And amongst these returning students, the ones that I'm going to be working with are transfer notification sent students. I'm just giving an example. Obviously, we'll be working with both transfer notification sent and submitted for those that you want to change a status for. But I'm making an example with a shorter version of the list because I've checked it in advance and I saw that there's these few students on this list. The important thing is you need the compulsory, what I call the compulsory columns. And these columns are this one, which is the institution and the student number. And you've got the academic year, and you've got what they call the res application number. The rest of the stuff in this you do not need. As a matter of fact, I delete that, right? I delete it so that I'm just left with what I need, those 4 columns. So what I did, just go to the next step. What I did then is to copy those 4, and I deleted the other columns that I don't need, and I've saved the document as a CSV. So you would go File, Save As, and you change that from Excel to CSV. For whatever reason, you know, we struggled. I was doing this with one of you, of course, and we struggled trying to save this as a CSV in other formats. But when this particular format worked, I was like, okay, I'm not going to change to something else. All right, I'll stick to this one. CSV, MS-DOS, that's what I saved it as. And I just gave it a name called Bulk Update BAR for Banato. And I saved that on my desktop. Now, here's the important part. Once I save it, I do not close the document, because once you close the document, this column here, the last column, which has the res application number, all those numbers start with a 00. Once you save and close it, it loses those 00s, And once you lose the double zeros, then the program doesn't work for some reason. Right. So once you've saved your document, then you're good to go. You go back to your program, click on Home, and you go to your tiles, and you choose Residence Update, because that's what we're going to be doing. Residence Update is there. And then on Residence Update, I'm sure that you have run something at some point. You ran fees, or you did a photo list or something. If you go search, it will show you something, some names, of whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. Basically, you can just use the same one, or you can create a separate one. Just add new value and give it a name. But the thing is, every time you add something there, you cannot delete those. They remain like that. That's why I prefer using what I already have. In this case, I did create Banato at some point. I don't even remember when. And this is the screen that you will come to. And from that screen, you have these headings here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 headings. We're going to work with only 2 headings out of these 5 headings. You're going to work with the first heading, which is Update Residence Record, and you tick that Update Residence Record there under the heading, and then you change that to whatever it is. Maybe it will be blank, just like the bottom will be blank, by the way. Right? Maybe it will be blank. You change it to what you want to update these few students to. You want to update them to unsuccessful. All right? Once you change that, you put the current date. You click on the date thing on the side there. Don't enter the date manually, please, because you might make a mistake and not be aware. So it's safer to just click on the calendar thing on the side and then choose the date. It's always easier to just go to the bottom of the calendar where it says current date. You click on that, and then you are done on top here. You go to the last heading, which says population selection, and there you will select external file, because you're going to update this using an external file. I know that during your training you were shown how to do the PS query, where you go and search for something and choose, for example, that second last option there that says manual selection action. That's not what we do when we do an external file option. In fact, you see it changes just a little bit. Once you choose external file, then it gives you an opportunity to upload the file. Now, that's the file that you've already saved, which is the list of students that you want to update from whatever status to unsuccessful. Now, I did say that I'm going to put that on the desktop, and I called it, what did I call it again? I call it bulk update BAR. Click on that, and I go open, or double click on it, and then click on upload. It will show the file name here. There, it shows the file name. You don't type something here. Please do not type something here, but go and search. So the first one is to go and search for something if you have already done it. Because you'll be doing it for the first time, there's nothing to search. Remember, there is absolutely nothing to search. It's always easy to go and create a file mapping, because this is file mapping. So you go and create the file mapping. So you go create file mapping, and then you come to this beautiful menu here. Remember, now this is what I did when we were practicing earlier, just to make sure that I see what I need to do on this screen, but I also open these two files side by side. Now, this is my Excel sheet that I've already saved with just those 2 columns. Now I'm putting this back to back for you, because you need to remember that you're going to be entering these compulsory rows, these compulsory columns. These compulsory columns is institution, ample ID, academic year, and that application number. Now, What I mean by entering those, you enter the number of the column in which it is in the spreadsheet. So the spreadsheet might be laid out differently, but you need to look at what column number your institution is. In this case, column number 1 is where it is, right? So you put a 1 there. What column number is, let me just make this a little bit wider, right? What column number is your ample ID? It's on 1. It's on 2, I mean, column 2, because that's that one there, column 2. Column 3 is your academic year, column 3. So I'm going a bit slow here. It just so that we catch the what you call. Remember, I'm recording, talking, and doing at the same time. So if from time to time I point the camera to the ceiling, don't blame me. Anyway, what column number is your application number? Is column 4, which is that one there, column 4. These are compulsory ones. That's why I just even remove the others, because we don't need them. Once you enter that information, remember to put the file mapping name. And now I will call this one just simply update. Update BAR. Update BAR, right? So I call it update BAR, and this file that we have here has a header row. That first row there is the header row. So we tick this option here. Can you see where my mouse is moving? So you tick that header row to indicate that this has the headers. In fact, you will see once you tick on that, it actually changes to say institution is called institution on your thing there, and so on and so on. Okay, I'm not going to go to the rest. You will see those when you practice, and then you go and apply. And once you have applied, you go and click on OK. When you click on OK, it takes you back to this screen where you started. Here you need to see if that file that you're trying to link, which you've uploaded, has been indeed linked by clicking on Preview Selection Results. Can you see there? Preview Selection Results. And it will show you a table like that to show that this is the data that it will process. You can see the application number column does have the zeros there, and then you go return. Okay, now you're going to run the actual report, or you run the update by going to run. Right? And then you click on OK. This process is similar to the class list update, the download, or the fees update. Okay, after it has given you the process instance number, you know that the report has run in the background, but you need to monitor the process. Process monitor. You click on that, and that one there, ignore the rest that you see here. For you, when you do it for the first time, you will only see one line. But the line that's on top, when you've done it a couple of times, will be the latest one. And from time to time, you refresh until your run status, which is that column there, your run status changes to success, and your distribution status changes to posted. Okay, so you just refresh that. Now, it takes a bit of time depending on how many people are doing reports university-wide. When that is done, you then click on details. Okay, click on details, and then you click at this option here, on this option where it says view log /trace. You click on that, and then there will be this link here to the file. Once you click on that link there, under file list, it shows you the outcome. When the numbers show like that, it actually means that the report has run successfully. If you see some gibberish that you don't understand, you know that there is a mistake that you've made somewhere, and therefore this didn't run well. So these students, according to the report that I downloaded, were on transfer notification sent. Now let us just see if this one did update indeed. If you copy that first student number there and you go back to the main screen, go home, and then you go to manage student residence. We want to just make sure that it did indeed update the status of the student from transfer notification sent to, what should it be? It should be unsuccessful. And you go search, and okay, I'm not sure why the system is a bit slow there. And then we go to 2020. There it opens, and then it says unsuccessful. So it updated it, and it's not the only one. It updated those others that were done too. I mean, you would be wasting time if you're going to check all of them. But once you check, you can randomly check. You don't have to check the first one. You can randomly check any one of them. So it has updated these successfully from transfer notification sent to a new status called unsuccessful. So that's how you do the update. I hope that was not a waste of your 16 minutes. Thank you.